I've been looking forward to this trip for quite some time. So I'm basically headed off to see the giant sequoias. Notice the left-hand side here, these are Australian gum. Californians love them. Trucks are a big thing for transport throughout America, and so is trains, not unlike Australia. So General Sherman tree is allegedly the world's biggest tree. Good morning, top of the morning to you. New challenge. So today's challenge has been brought to you by, now what happened was at the moment I've got a problem with the generator, and because of that problem means I've got no electricity for the air conditioning, which is a bit uncomfortable, especially during the night. It's currently between 100 and 106 degrees here where I'm staying, or where I'm moving around. And the other thing is it gives me no power to be able to charge the battery. So anytime I'm editing, I just get the length of the battery until it dies, and I could be halfway through something critical. So that's a bit of a problem. And also no hot water to have a shower, because the hot water service is run by electricity, which is part of the generator. Anywho, so how did I solve it? So last night I spent about 3 hours in, much to the chagrin, actually they're very, very patient, at Starbucks. So I nursed my little cup of hot chocolate and managed to get all of the editing done there. But then I ran out of time because they had to close 9 o'clock at night. Then this morning I went and sat over and asked permission and sat cross-legged in the foyer in Walmart so I could actually put the video up. But hey, got the video up, and hopefully you're enjoying it. So today I'm off to see some more giant redwoods at the Sequoia National Park. Good morning. Okay, so I'm gearing up now. I've got all organised. I'll have some breakfast in about half an hour, and I'm just about to head out towards Sequoia. Now I'm doing a tour and I'm paying for it myself, so I can give you a very unbiased opinion whether it's worth it and just how good it is. So as I said, I'm going to the Sequoia National Park, and one of my big ticket items there is the General Sherman Redwood Sequoia. So looking forward to that. Let's go. Now entering the giant forest. So I'm standing in front of General Sherman's tree. Now this thing's obviously very old, and there's this massive line here that people are lining up to go and get their all those shots in front of the General Sherman Street. And a little unknown, or not very well known fact is this started off to be called the Karl Marx tree, but obviously they changed that pretty quick. It is pretty massive, and I'll give you some history and some statistics about it shortly. Interesting facts. 2,300 years old, and it's 275 feet high. Every year, literally millions of people come here to check it out, so it's very popular. And it's fire resistant, so its actual bark has got special acids within the bark so that it can actually deal with a lightning strike. But if a big bushfire comes through, it still is reasonably hardy, so that's why they don't tend to fall. Those that do fall are usually either incredibly strong wind or the snow just gets too much of it. And here is the most amazing fact: their roots, generally underneath this dirt, is granite. So quite often the roots are only 6 feet down. So that's amazing. So because they're not down very long, then they spread out right around and they group up with all the other trees to give them support. Where have I been? Good question. It all started when I picked up the RV. There was a little red light that was a battery light that was coming on. I didn't think anything more of it. The owner said to accelerate when I first started and it would go away, and sure enough it did. Let that lie, and then don't forget I've been all around northern southern California, and I'm now in Nevada. Anywho, that light was all to do with alternators and electrical issues and so on and so forth, and it never was a problem until suddenly in Bakersfield I've driven into the Walmart, which is like Australia's Big W, driven into their car park just to get organised for the afternoon, and suddenly the car stopped, couldn't get it started. So I managed to get it started and then put my foot on the accelerator. There was nothing. So it turned out what was happening was the alternator was no longer functioning for the battery, and they just gave me no power. So accelerate, nothing. And I was sort of stuck halfway in this car park. Called the AAA, which is like Victoria's RACV or New South Wales NRMA. The guy eventually came out, very complex system to try and use, but anyway, he eventually turned up and lifted the bonnet, said, oh yeah, they need a new battery and the alternator stuff, so you'll need a new one of those. Unfortunately, I believed him because he's the expert, so I immediately bought a new battery from Walmart and then went about to see if I could contact a mechanic. Don't forget, this was on a Sunday. The following morning, the mechanic did turn up, very efficient. They'd already picked up the alternator for me, put the new alternator on, put in the new battery, and I sort of technically was ready to go, but neither of us were that happy with the electronics. Was still something that wasn't quite right. Anywho, they left and I seemed to be okay. And then, as I say, I still wasn't happy, so what I did was I ended up driving out to their house to say, look, you know, it's still not right. When I got out there, they said, oh, look, there's other problems. And a mate of theirs, a would-be mechanic, said, oh, I'll fix it, come over to my place. So the following morning, thinking he was a fully qualified and knew what he was doing mechanic, I've driven over there, and in 2/3 of the way on my way over there, the car was broken down in the middle of the road, no power, no electricity, nothing. I was lucky enough to roll into a side street, waited there for about 3 hours, and then the guy came out, charged up my battery, and then I limped it round to his place. Spent about 3 or 4 hours after at his place, and he really had no idea what was going on. But I was happy to milk me of a few $100s to make something up, sort of short shift, or pull the whole alternator out, then take it down to another guy to have it tested, and it was all, you know, a few $100s his way. No, I called it a day. I then limped back to, oh no, I'm making this long, but you might as well know. I then limped back to the original mechanics. They made me up a little dummy wire.
I'm not gonna be able to do it right now, but
Right.
You're gonna just touch this one wire to this metal clip right here.
Yeah.
And then the other one to the bolt right here. Right there.
Yep.
It just sparked right now because I had it on the ground, but you're supposed to touch those two right there.
Meanwhile, I'd managed to locate a proper auto electrician because it was an electrical fault, the whole thing. That guy couldn't see me for 5 days, and we managed to whittle it down, and he ended up saying, bring it over tomorrow morning, we'll have a look. Took it over the following morning, and sure enough, he fixed it up, and whew, what a relief. But that was over like a 5-day period, and all sorts of dramas, and as you can see, the dollars just kept flowing out. But now it's all happy. Got a new alternator, a new battery, the electrics on that aspect are fixed up, and I'm back on the road. And while I didn't have any of that working, obviously the laptop is the last thing that's going to be able to be charged. So if you remember from the last video, I also said I had problems with the generator. Well, that was never fixed, and so since then I've bought myself a new generator, a portable one. That's for another story, another video, but I'm now sort of back on my feet, and that's why I've taken so long to get back to you. Now that's all sort of bad news. Good news is this video coming up for this week is all about going to Viva Las Vegas. Very exciting. Oh, when I got there, instead of having a bit of bad news, I had some great news. So did I win a whole lot of money? You'll have to watch. Anywho, if you found the video useful, helpful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, still got plenty of time. And if you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. Until next time, this is Paul Will Drive, signing off.